This is Women Road Warriors with Shelley Johnson and Kathy Tuccaro. If you drive long haul, short haul, or heavy haul, they're here to empower and inspire women in the trades on tncradio.live. So gear down, sit back, and enjoy.
Welcome to Women Road Warriors with Shelley Johnson and Kathy Tuccaro. We're a show designed to inspire and empower women in trucking, in the trades, and everywhere, with informative guests, experts, celebrities, and people who are champions for women. Every topic can be discussed on our rig, and we want women to be the very best they can be. I'm Shelley.
And I'm Kathy.
Happiness is something everyone wants to achieve, but sadly, not everyone is always happy. Carol Whitaker knows how to help people improve the quality of their lives and get results fast. She's the author of Ridiculously Happy, The Secret to Manifesting the Life and Body of Your Dreams. Carol is a transformation expert and holistic life coach. She's dedicated to empowering women around the world to make their dreams a reality. She's been featured on national media and websites. Carol is with us today to talk about happiness and how women can transform their lives. Welcome, Carol. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you, Shelley, for that kind introduction. It's such a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, welcome.
And yes, thank you so much, Kathy.
So how does this all work? A transformation expert, what is all of that? And Carol, maybe if you could talk a little bit about your background. Who are you?
Okay, I am Carol Whitaker, as you said, and I'm a mother of three, and I've been married for almost 31 years.
Congratulations.
Wow.
Thank you. I have an incredible family. I married the love of my life.
In itself.
Right.
Wow.
Right. Yeah, we have such a happy family. Oh my goodness. My husband's my best friend. He's my rock, my hero. So, and we have three beautiful children. We have a 27-year-old son and a 24-year-old daughter. Those two are married to amazing spouses. And then my baby is 20. He'll be 21 this summer. So yeah, my kids are all grown. And how I got started as a holistic life coach, it started back when I was actually young. And I had rheumatic fever. It's an old illness. And from there, I was on antibiotics and it destroyed my immune system. And it kind of destroyed my spirit, so to speak. Like I was depressed and sad and anxious as I grew because my body was under such duress from all the antibiotics, plus the illness of rheumatic fever and having to recover from that. So Lo and behold, my sweet mother, bless her heart, she's my serious hero as well. She got into holistic healing. So vitamins and minerals and the power of energy of healing the body and so forth. And it transformed my life. So I was on with all the doctors for so long. And then I went through the natural way and lots of prayer and meditation on my end as well. And it's like, this kind of like this unfolding happened within me. It's like, oh no, we've got you, Carol. You can heal. You're good. I'm like, really? And then lo and behold, as I got married and had young kids, I just became stronger and stronger. And then I learned the power of the mind. And I learned how innate we are and how incredibly, like we literally have everything we need within, right? To be happy. And that's what we were created to have joy. So I really, really started studying that, internalizing it. And then my world just transformed. My body went from being sick to being a fitness model. I traveled around doing fitness modeling, and then I became a fitness coach. And then from there, I became the happiness, because happiness is truly the key to everything. If you're not happy, then every aspect of your life, even though you want to be healthier, you want to make more money, or you want to have a better relationship, but if you don't love yourself first and really believe in yourself, then the outside world is going to reflect back to you the lack and limitations that you're putting upon yourself subconsciously. And so as I started coaching people I got certified and everything, and then I had people just come to me and I started doing these interviews and so forth. And then I wrote my book. I have seen through the coaching, my time in coaching and helping people throughout the last 15 to 20 years, going towards 20 now, I'm a little older. Their lives have literally transformed. It's been amazing, but it all stems from within. And that's why I'm so passionate about helping women to be happy and empowered.
So is it part of it is trying to get away from negative self-talk?
You have to, negative self-talk. So thoughts are seeds. If you think about how you think about your daily life, your habitual thoughts and thinking, most of it's on auto drive. Just like when you're in your car, your truck, and you girls out there are driving, you ladies, and then all of a sudden you're like, wait, oh my golly, I'm already this far, because your mind's on auto drive. You're just driving. And then you're thinking of other things. Well, the same thing happens with ourselves. If we don't have positive, mental, constructive, uplifting thoughts about ourselves to believe in ourselves, then we're going to feel yucky and tired and, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that. We won't take care of ourselves as well because the thoughts we have are seeds that we plant in our subconscious mind. And what we plant in our subconscious mind will naturally materialize in our outer world. That's the law of vibration.
Sure. Now, a lot of the thoughts I think people have, depending on how they grew up, some of that is conditioning, isn't it?
100%. Oh, yes. It's a big deal. They're called paradigms. So a paradigm is something we hear all the time and we start to believe, and that becomes part of our habitual thinking and our belief system. And paradigms, you can look at your life and take a little assessment. And if you think of all the little areas of your life, the areas where you're thriving and you're doing extremely well in, that's where your paradigm's really solid and it supports your belief system of love and expansion and joy and happiness and all that fun stuff. And the areas where you're lacking, that's where you have limiting beliefs, is what I like to refer to them as, which are paradigms that are keeping you stuck. So any aspect of your life where you don't feel happy and fulfilled are areas where you need to transform and shift and release the limiting beliefs about yourself so you really can be happy. And when I say shift, it's basically like going to your garden and like, oh my goodness, there's all these weeds. I don't want the weeds here. I'm going to clean up here. And you start pulling the weeds of your mind, which are basically your limiting thoughts, and you put yourself down, or I'm not pretty, or I'm too this, or I'm too that, or I'm so stupid. That's literally like putting poison in your seeds in your garden. It doesn't work. So you want to pull out those weeds, and then you want to cultivate the earth so you can plant new seeds. And you cultivate that earth by having self-love, because you can plant all the positive thoughts you have in your mind all you want, but if you don't truly love yourself, then they're just going to wither and die. Just like when you plant seeds in a real garden and you don't give it water or sunshine, nothing will happen.
Sure, you got to nurture it.
You have to.
I'm a gardener too, and I hate
good.
weeding. So how do people, I'm sure a lot of people hate to weed.
Right.
How do you get motivated to weed your mind?
So what's really rewarding about weeding your mind is you feel better. Just like when you go out and you weed your garden, even though it's drudgery and you're like, oh, I don't want to do this. But the after, when you look back, is very highly rewarding because you feel good about seeing a clean garden. Well, it's the same way with our mind. So if you go in there, and different ways to do it to help you shift and clear out those limiting beliefs is sit down, get a piece of paper and write down areas in your life or people or experience you have had as a child that caused you emotional distress in any way. Write it down. And then this is basically how you're going to pull the weeds out of your mind. And then next to those people, those experiences, write the life lessons you have learned from that experience. So say someone was rude to you at school when you were a child, or you had a bully, or you had an unkind step parent or something. And write down how it made you a better person. Well, I've learned that I don't want to be like that person. I've learned that I'm more powerful and they're incorrect. I've learned that I truly do believe in myself, and I'm going to just release that and let them go and bless them. They don't know what they're talking about, that type of a thing. And when you do that, what happens is the subconscious is all about protection. That is the key to our subconscious mind, to protect us. And that's why we look for the negative things first. Because if you look for the negative things, then it will go back to your childhood or your youth to say, oh, look, we had this happen to us. This could be a red flag. And then you have hesitation. As opposed to if you take that what was a red flag, you're like, no, that was a time in my life where, I kind of sucked, but it's okay. I'm better for it. And I bless those people or that experience and let it go. Then you don't have that feeling of stuckness anymore. When you have with that thought or that experience likeness comes to your mind, it won't hold you back.
Mm-hmm.
So as you write down that paper and you write down the life lessons learned, you want to take those life lessons and keep them in your toolbox of your heart. That's what I call it, your treasure box, not toolbox. Toolbox is your mental capacity to think with intention and so forth. But if you put it in the treasure of your heart, like, oh, this is a good thing. I learned all these wonderful things and I can let go of the rest. I don't need to keep the garbage, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like taking out the emotional trash in your mind. So then you just let it go. And then next to that, you bless them and you write how much you love yourself. Because self-love is the key to happiness, is the key to love from others and to succeed in what areas you believe you can succeed in, because you're like, oh yeah, I got this. I love myself. I'm worthy of this. I'm deserving. And then if you do that list and you see those wonderful life lessons, then you're like, And that's what you want to focus on. You don't want to focus on the yuckies. And that will clean out that aspect of your mind of clearing and shifting. So when you start saying, okay, I am successful, I'm an amazing driver, I did this and this and this, then it's belief system. You don't have the junk in your mind to block you from actually believing you can achieve it.
Stay tuned for more of Women Road Warriors coming up.
Trucking Moves America Forward, or TMAF, is building a positive image of trucking by telling the story of the hardworking drivers and industry professionals who support the industry. And you can be a part of it. Learn more about TMAF and how you can join and be a part of the industry movement working to build a strong image of trucking by visiting TMAF's website at truckingmovesamerica.com. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and our latest channel, TikTok.
Welcome back to Women Road Warriors with Shelley Johnson and Kathy Tuccaro.
I know, I was in the women's recovery center for 3 times, and it took approximately 2 years total for me I had to unlearn everything that had been brainwashed into me, that I was ugly, that I was fat, that I was useless, that I was stupid, that I'd never amount to nothing, even though I was a nurse. But so all these things that would run around in my head, I had to unlearn all that. And then I had to relearn who Kathy really was at the age of 40, because I didn't know. Once you take all that out, I didn't know what I liked. I didn't know what I didn't like, because I had been so brainwashed by everyone around me that I was at a loss. I was like, I don't even know. So I had to rediscover who I was at the age of 40. But the hardest part was accepting deep inside how awesome I am, and that I have these amazing qualities that people love to have, and that I love to have. I like who I am, right?
Right.
I didn't know I rock, man. I'm a blast. I'm alert. But for anyone listening out there, transformation, deep transformations like this, it doesn't happen overnight.
No.
I mean, it takes a lot of work. You really constantly, like you were saying, you have to look at yourself and really tell yourself repeatedly, because those negative thoughts, even though it's been 9-10 years since I've been in there, they still creep back, and I'm the one in control. I'm the one that has to say, okay, Kathy, that's enough of that. There's no room in your head for negativity. So kick that out. Vibrate higher than everybody else.
Yes, that's exactly right. And you shifted your paradigm. So you went from your limiting belief paradigm to a powerful, empowering, like your truth, your higher self is what I call it. When you step into that higher self, that's where you're empowered, because we literally have God within us. We're all, children of God. If you believe in God or whatever higher spirit you believe in, we're not just here by chance. We're powerful. We are so powerful. And especially as women today are more powerful than ever, because we need to be. The world needs us to stand up and shine brightly. But you can't do that with limiting self-belief and horrible self-talk. Like you said, you were programmed with garbage, complete lies, complete junk. And it was 100% false, 110%.
But I believed it.
Yeah, of course you did.
I truly believed it.
Yes, and the reason why you did, everyone does, because just as a child that learns how to speak Chinese in China, that's how they're raised. They don't come to America and know how to speak American, because they weren't raised that way. They were not taught that. No different from learning a language as to learning a belief system. It's exactly the same. Repetition, repetition, repetition. You're told the same thing over and over and over, and you have the same critical thoughts about yourself. You believe. And it's garbage when the negative things comes in. I call that a monkey mind. When that monkey mind comes into play, I help my clients realize that that's all it is a monkey mind. And your monkey mind is going to jump around and try and get your attention, because guess what? We have all this history to prove. All these people said all these things. Got to prove them right. And I'm proud of you, Kathy, for going through that. I mean, sincerely, because it does take a lot of time to transform, to be really happy and to believe in yourself. That consistency, repetition is vital. Like you said, it takes time.
There was a lot of layers And
there's
just
a whole
like the
bunch.
onion, there were so many layers, and I didn't realize that. I thought like the
No.
first time I'd been there, oh, okay, I dealt with a lot of stuff. I'm good to go. Yeah,
No.
no, nope. I'm like,
Yeah.
all of a
It's not
sudden
that
something
easy.
pops up. I'm like, where'd that come from? What?
Yes, it's really true. And so what I teach my clients, I also do EFT with my clients. I don't know if you've heard tapping therapy.
Nope.
It's crazy fast. It's cool. So tapping, you guys can all look it up. EFT. You can go on YouTube. There's tons of videos about it.
What does it
It
stand
stands
for?
Emotional freedom technique.
Oh.
And what it does is we're all energetic beings. That's why the law of vibration is the center of all creation, literally. Everything you look at has a vibration to it. Everything and everyone you meet has a vibration. And that vibration stems within ourselves and comes out kind of like a flashlight within us or a light, either light, dark, whatever it might be, depending on your mindset. So what I'll do with my clients is they have an experience. You can tap out that experience at a very cellular level by tapping on the meridian zone points on your body. It's like acupuncture, but it's called acupressure. You're doing it with your hands. So you can do that. There's so many different ways to help clear those limiting beliefs or experiences that have caused you harm emotionally, physically, mentally, anything in your life that you want to improve, even your health. You can tap on the body to help clear that vibration that's stuck in your organs and in your mind. And when you do that, you can replace it with the love and light of Christ and God or yourself, whatever your belief system is. And that will raise your vibration to a higher frequency. So then when you go back and you think of those like for what you were saying, Kathy, people in your past, like, oh, you're fat, you're stupid, you're dumb. They're only expressing how they felt about themselves. Had nothing to do with you. Then when you go back and you think about those experiences with those people, you have zero emotional ties to it. And that's where your power lies. And then you realize, oh yeah, bless their hearts. They are miserable people and they tried to project all their misery and redirect their anger on me. Those poor people. I'm so sorry. And then you cut them out of your life. You put up, like, I'll help my clients say, you know what, if those people keep coming to your mindset or what they said, put a bubble around them and literally just see them floating away from you and just cut that. I call it like an energy cord, cut it and let them go. They're not part of your life. You don't need them anymore. And you surround yourself with the love and light that you are in heavenly powers and heavenly energy of creation. And that's what you are. You're a superwoman. All of us are, every one of us. And so when you step into that higher self, that higher empowerment, it's like, and you know when you do, because the outside world will reflect that back to you. People start treating you kinder. People will like, oh, when you're driving, and you both want the same parking spot or something, like, oh no, you take it. Oh, like, oh, thank you, Or you go to check out at the grocery store and the lady's like, oh my goodness, and they compliment you. They're so, so kind. And then you leave and you hear them talk behind you and the person behind them is kind of disgruntled to the little worker and they're kind of disgruntled back and forth. And so our energy reflects back and forth with each other 100%. Even road rage, all the road rage people find each other. How does that happen? Because it's energy.
Yeah.
Interesting, right? So when you step into your power like Kathy has, look at your life now, Kathy. You're thriving. You're happy.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm sure you've had the same thing, Kelly, but it makes such an immense difference. And when you step into that empowerment about yourself, you're literally happy. Like, no joke, happy for no reason. You're just, life is good. And people will tell me all the time, like, Kelly, you're always so happy. Like, because it's a choice. I choose to be. I don't hold grudges. I don't hold contempt towards others. I don't try to look for the bad in others. I look for the good in all aspects. I look for the bounty and the blessings, the abundance, the tender mercies, and it makes for a happy me. And if I'm happy, then I show up better for my children, my husband, my coworkers. I'm a better businesswoman. Everything unfolds before me according to my beliefs within, and it's the same for all of us.
Sure. So does this also involve maybe forgiveness, which I know people
100%.
Okay. People have trouble doing that. They harbor resentment.
Yes. And so let me tell you about that. I'm glad you brought that up. Forgiveness goes hand in hand with happiness. If you want to be happy, you better let go of that garbage, gross bag that you've been carrying around with you that's full of yuckiness and debris and things are just growing, they're just festering. Ugh. Green and gross and black and yuck, because that's basically what resentment does to our soul, right? So if I were to hand you this gross bag of yuckiness, would you want to carry it literally? Of course not. Like, no. But when we hold resentment towards anyone, including ourselves, we're carrying around that gross bag. So you can just think of it as that. Like, I'm just carrying this disgustingly gross garbage bag and it's full of
Mhm.
so much grossness that I just want to puke. The smell's horrid. Everything about it just makes me sick, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what resentment, anger, jealousy, envy, all of that is all encompassed in that bag. But when you forgive, you're not forgiving to let them go of the harm they've done to you. You're not trying to say, well, it's okay. You just, whatever, just go. You're not trying to bless them per se. You're doing it to help yourself. So how you can forgive is literally saying, you know what? I know that what happened was awful and it made me mad, but I don't need to carry these horrible feelings anymore because it's only hurting me. It's not hurting that person, right? So you just bless them, literally bless them and ask God to take them off your hands, to bless them and take care of them, and you're done. And then just forgive them. And then as you do that, forgive yourself for holding on to the resentment because you don't want to have your subconscious believe in any way, shape, or form that holding a resentment's good. Because guess what? They know I was mad at them and it made them uncomfortable, so I win. You don't want that mentality, right? So if you let go and you forgive them, then you can go back to yourself and say, okay, I feel so much better. And I am so grateful. I love all that I am. I'm so grateful. I triumphed over this. I am a much better person because I was able to move forward with a smile on my face.
Is it also important if these people are toxic to remove them?
Get away. Of course.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah. Do not. I mean, literally keep your beautiful circle of influence full of people who lift you up, build you up, and love yourself. And here's another thing. Some people can't, obviously, if they have a toxic relationship with their spouse, it's difficult, right? Or their children or their coworkers. So this is a little secret that will transform even those relationships. So people that are toxic to other people are doing so because that's how they feel about themselves, number one. Any toxicity they point towards anyone, I call it spewing. They're just saying how they feel about themselves ultimately. Their life is miserable. They suck. Life is awful. Everyone's against me. I'm a victim mentality. So they spew it to everyone and they're disrespectful. But think about someone who you personally look up to, like with high regards, high regards, and you respect.
Mm-hmm.
Even when you're in your worst mood, you would never talk disrespectfully to that person, right? You just wouldn't.
Right.
You would say it, right? You just wouldn't. So when you come to have that self-love, that self-respect, that self-worth as someone you admire, and you do that for yourself, then the people outside your world will not spew and be toxic to you because the vibration is not in harmony. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
When you know when you know your worth, literally people will treat you accordingly.
Stay tuned for more of Women Road Warriors coming up.
Industry movement Trucking Moves America Forward is telling the story of the industry. Our safety champions, the women of trucking, independent contractors, the next generation of truckers, and more. Help us promote the best of our industry. Share your story and what you love about trucking. Share images of a moment you're proud of. And join us on social media. Learn more at truckingmovesamerica.com. Kathy DeCaro is nothing short of amazing. She not only drives the world's biggest truck as a heavy equipment operator in northern Alberta, Canada. She's an international motivational speaker and the author of Dream Big, an autobiography about overcoming a lifetime of trauma and abuse that led to dreams of success. Kathy inspires people the world over to change their lives and improve their self-worth. Her book will change your life. She's passionate about personal growth and believes anyone can change their circumstances and overcome their obstacles if they believe in themselves. Her life will amaze you and seriously inspire you. Be sure to order a copy of her book, Dream Big, on Amazon.com.
Welcome back to Women Road Warriors with Shelley Johnson and Kathy DeCaro.
I had one client and she had a very toxic boss. He was just literally emotionally abusive to his employees. And I'm not over exaggerating. He's very rude and very unkind. And she had a really hard time with that. And she was suffering because she had to go to work all the time. And she didn't feel like she was confident enough to find a new job. So we worked on her self-respect and to see her boss as he really was, a broken child. Because men, women who are mean and disrespectful to other people are literally vocalizing their hurt child self mentality. That's why they act like children. When you say that, you act like a child, stop it. Well, they literally are. So we came to help her love herself, let go of her limiting beliefs that she had, similar to you, Kathy, that she was raised with, and to release them. Bless her parents, say it wasn't their fault. They did the best they knew how. She came to realize that, oh, I don't deserve this. Do I? Like, nope, you do not. And so as she came to love and respect herself completely, what happened was her boss started to treat her with respect. Literally, she was blown away. The other employees still had the garbage happening to them, but he was kind to her. And then it came to the point where he's like, Carol, he's treating me like a friend. I'm like, yes, that's exactly what happens. So you can know how you feel about yourself by the way others are treating you. If they treat you with respect, by darn, give yourself a pat on the back. You know your worth. And if they're not, then it's like, okay, what can I do to believe in myself fully? What can I do to step into my power more fully? Because when you do that, people just treat you with respect, just like that person you admire.
And when you know your worth, you automatically don't tolerate any abuse around you.
Right.
You just don't.
You literally don't. No.
But when you have really low self-esteem, like I did my entire life, I would tolerate it because I felt I wasn't worthy, right? But
Correct.
now that now I know who I am and how awesome I am,
right,
and I know my worth, I will not tolerate any negativity or people that are drinking or smoking or just whatever around me. I don't need it. I'm like, no, I'm good. See ya. Right?
And it's really true. In fact, I don't know if you know this also. I'm also a general contractor. I built $1 million homes for years. My business partner, I recently closed it down because we're focusing on other endeavors as well. But when you said that, I would come on the job sites and the subs would be smoking stuff. They would see me. They would scramble to put out their cigarettes.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we can't do this around Carol. Oh, I'm so sorry. And they were like completely on top of the ball. And I'm like, we don't do that on my job site. She's like, I'm so sorry. And I mean, they're so sweet. And I was always respectful to my workers. Always, always, always. But they knew if Carol was there, not allowed. And they respected. I had complete respect always from my workers. Always, 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 because I respect myself. And my workers always showed up.
And that energy, people pick up on it. You're so right.
Yes.
I mean, if you look at the predators and the men that abuse women, they know who to go to because they feel that, right? And the 100%. Woman, it's almost blatant, obvious how vulnerable she is, and so
yes.
When I speak to women, I try and talk to them about, putting on that cloak of.
It's true though. Straighten your crown, stand tall. And body language is another thing I would love to address. I'm glad you brought that up, Kathy, because body language is everything. So I want you to look at yourself right now. How are you sitting? How are you standing? What are you eating? How are you dressed? How's your hair? Is your makeup done? Look at all the aspects that makes you feel your best, right? And see if you're living up to that. So I am always dressed. My makeup and hair is always done, no matter how I feel, unless I'm really, really sick, but that's very rare. And so the reason why I do that, my mom taught me this, which I love her to pieces for, and I've always stood tall with your shoulders back. So there's many faculties that facilitate that empowerment with taking care of yourself. When you take care of yourself, you dress nicely, you take time to eat healthy because you respect your body. You have loving self-talk, and so you're going to wear clothes that you feel flattering in. Even though you're driving a truck, you can still feel and look your best, right? So when you get out of the truck, you're like, I feel good today. Look at me, I'm pretty freaking hot, right? So, or whatever you're going to do, going on a date with your husband or your spouse or your loved one or your whatever, your significant other. When you are in this state of loving yourself, your body language will express that. So one thing, I don't know if you guys know about chakras. So we have energy chakras, right? That go up and down. If you guys do ever know about yoga or whatever, it's an energy field that we have around us. So we have energy that comes into our body and then it goes throughout our body and stores it. But if we have your solar plexus, your belly button, that's where your power comes in and out of the most. That's how we direct our energy the most. And when you look at people who are heavy and burdened down, they slouch or they have low self-worth. They slouch. And so what is that telling everyone from the get-go before they even speak to you? Oh, I have no self-worth. I really don't love myself and I'm not really worthy. And I don't even know if you want to talk to me. If you want to, I'm over here. You know, that's the energy they give off, right?
Sure.
But when you stand tall and proud, you put your shoulders back, what happens is you are literally opening up your entire aura to say, here I am. My light is shining brightly. I'm here because I love to be here. I know my worth, and I would love for you to know your worth just by interacting with me. I will leave you with an impression of being better and happier just for talking to me or looking at me or being in my presence, because energy attracts like energy, right? So if you hold that power, then people around you, even though they don't have that, for some reason, they're going to feel better. And then strangers will start to talk to you. I'm like, oh, like literally, I'm not literally. People talk to me everywhere I go because I have a very open and inviting personality. I will talk to anyone that will come up and talk to me. I'm like, oh, they'll ask me questions and I'll help them. And I have no idea who they are. And I'll be with other friends like, how do you know that person? Like, I don't. Like, oh, okay. But it's because that energy I give out is that of pure love and welcome, right? But I can't have that energy unless I have that for myself first.
What about if you encounter an emotional vampire? Because there are people who will suck the living lifeblood out of you and the air out of the room.
Oh, they totally do. But when you have the higher vibration, they can't, because they won't have that, right? When you're in a lower vibration, I'm glad you brought that up as well, because when I first started coaching, I would give my energy to my clients to build them up. So they weren't trying to be vampires, but they were. And they would leave. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so tired. Oh, and I'd literally have to lay down. I'm like, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this when it makes me exhausted? And then I prayed about it. And I felt very impressed and say, no, that's not how it works. You're not doing this right, Carol. And so I learned to keep my vibration at a very high frequency. So anyone who comes into whether it's on the phone or on Skype or in my home, and they come to do a coaching session with me, I'm at a very high frequency. They feel the love, they feel the safety, and they let their guards down. And what happens is when we coach, they rise their energy to match closer to mine. So that makes sense. So when you're around people who are usually energy vampires, number one, stand tall and proud. And like Kathy said, you don't accept or tolerate any disrespect whatsoever. So if anyone comes and tries this negative talk, change the subject. Because a lot of family members are energy vampires. They don't mean to be, but they are. You just change the subject. And you just flat out tell them, I don't feel comfortable talking about stuff like that. Let's talk about something positive. I've said that 1,000 times. Yeah,
because I've known some people that are just plain negative.
Yes, they thrive on it. Yes, it's an addiction. It 100% is. And it's not anything you give negative energy to, just like the plant, we're going to go back to that little garden. The seeds you plant, positive or negative, are either a poisonous plant or a healthy, wonderful, beautiful plant, right? The earth, your subconscious mind, so to speak, has no way of saying, oh, we're not doing this poisonous plant. No, it takes it. And if you fuel it with that negativity, you are fueling that to attract more things to be negative about and say, see, look what happened. But on the flip side, you pull out that negativity, then your beautiful plants that you want to grow, your fruits and vegetables and your trees and whatever you want, are going to be amazing. And you attract even more sunshine and more happiness. And then also flowers start coming up, and you just start having more to be grateful for. And that's literally how it works. The law of vibration is perfect in every way. You can't be just like gravity. No matter how much you want to change the gravity and say, I'm going to drop this pen, it's not going to fall. It's going to fall. No different with negativity.
Stay tuned for more of Women Road Warriors coming up.
TNCRadio.live is proud to carry the Steve Summers Overnight Drive Show. TNCRadio.live is dedicated to commercial drivers. We offer the news, traffic, and weather you need, and the entertainment, sports, talk, music, and celebrity interviews you want to hear 24/7. We have original shows and trucker podcasts that feature some of your favorites, like Ice Road Alex Debogorski and America's Truckin' Sweetheart Marcia Campbell. TNCRadio.live is convenient and designed for professional drivers. The best part is we're free, and you can listen anywhere you are on the road. With just one tap, you can tune into Steve Summers and us right on your phone. Simply download our app by going to app.tncradio.live. That's app.tncradio.live.
Welcome back to Women Road Warriors with Shelley Johnson and Kathy Tuccaro.
One thing that I learned in that women's recovery place was that when we were talking about forgiveness, it was really easy to forgive other people for me,
yourself.
but myself, that was the hardest thing to forgive was myself for the mistakes that I had made. And that's where my negativity was coming from. Mostly me. What have I done to my daughter, when I was drinking and when I was, not being the best parent that I could be. And that was the hardest thing for me to overcome. I was my own biggest obstacle, basically.
Oh, yes.
And so talking about negativity, well, if you're unable to forgive yourself, that's always going to be hanging around, that negativity.
That's exactly right.
Right. Mm-hmm. In order to grow and let that level go, you absolutely 100% need to be able to accept what you've done, forgive yourself, know that you're a human being, you make mistakes, and it's okay. Some mistakes are worse than others, but what are you going to do? You learn from it. Don't do it again.
That's exactly. And you said the key word, you learn from it. Yeah. And when you learn from that and say, guess what? This is awesome. I mean, if the experience wasn't, but the fact that I learned this beautiful life lesson that it's literally needed for my progression in my life, then you can put that in your treasure box, and then that helps you to heal. So you can let go of berating yourself all the time.
Yeah, but it's really key to forgive yourself first, right? Because otherwise, nothing's going to change. That those needs, like you say, are still going to grow and still be in there because you're harboring it.
It's exactly right.
You have to get it out.
Yes, and that's why it's so critical to write it out and shift it out, clear it out, as I like to call it, and replace it with love and light. You have to, because energy cannot be void. So you can forgive yourself, but if you go back to putting yourself in situations that bring up the same feelings in a different, like the same people show up in a different pair of shoes, so to speak, right? Until you shift that belief system about yourself and you forgive yourself, I deserve better. I'm amazing. Like you said, like literally we are all queens. Every one of us on this earth, and our kids are princesses. I call my daughter a princess all the time, but I mean very literal. And my sons are prince in my brain, right? Because we're all incredibly precious children on this earth, right? So when you believe in yourself and you forgive yourself, then your power shines forth like crazy.
Sure.
And and one thing that you can do I don't know what you did, Kathy, but what I help my clients to do is do mirror work. And you talk to yourself like you're talking to your inner child, because that's what's hurting the most, right?
Yeah.
And you're looking at me.
That's a tough one. People, when they look in the mirror, they're like, oh my God. It's so hard.
Yes, it is. The first time feels so uncomfortable. And that's because they lack so deeply that self-love and that self-worth and that self-acceptance. That is the number one key to happiness.
The first thing you look for is all the faults. Like, I got a zit here. I go, oh my God, I got gray hair. Look at those wrinkles. Holy crap. Right?
Yes.
The first thing.
And and
instead of finding the beauty, right? The first thing is the mind goes for the negative. It's learning to flip that switch and find the positive first.
And I think women do that more to themselves than men.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And that's why you have to take your power back. Right? I think it's just so imperative that women need to own their power so they can be a beautiful light for the world, because we need it desperately right now. Let's be honest.
I got to share this because it's exactly what you're saying. PTSD. I had a really bad case of that. I was driving the truck, and I was only working there for the first month, and I had such a flashback, so heavy from past violent, humiliating moments. Like it literally came from behind. It was like a tidal wave, and it took my breath away. And I'm driving through this big intersection, and there's cars parked on both sides, and there's people coming out, and everyone's looking at the truck, and because it's so big, right? And the sound,
right?
But in the middle of the intersection, I can't see where I'm driving because all I'm seeing is the most humiliating moments of my life and the most painful. And I'm hearing these words, and you all these, you waste the skin, you useless, whatever, all these horrible things. But what I did, I said, so I rolled down my window because I'm trying to breathe. I can't breathe. And I said, oh, hell no.
Good for you.
I took all that negativity and I threw it out the window. But like you said, when you take something out, you have to replace it with something. Because now I have this big gaping hole inside that's pain.
That's exactly right.
So what I did, and the only thing I knew what to do, I did the queen wave. Like I'm the queen going through a parade, right?
Good.
So I'm blowing kisses to these people. I'm like, hi,
Good.
it's Kathy.
I love it.
Thank you. Right?
I love it. That was
So as I'm blowing
brilliant.
kisses, and I took my power back, because
Yes.
in that moment was very critical, because I said, my past does not define who I am, and the
Heck
opinions
no.
of other people, it doesn't matter. It's who
Nope.
I believe. So in doing the
Yes.
queen wave, I reclaimed who Kathy is. And
So
from that
proud of
moment
you.
on, anytime that something negative comes my way, I remember that moment and I take my power back.
Oh,
And
good
I'm like,
for you.
nope.
That's
That is
excellent.
So all those people
powerful.
who said that I was useless and a waste of skin and no good for nothing, who's driving this truck? Who is driving this
Exactly.
truck? Me,
That's
Right?
right.
Not them, me. Right.
Yes,
And so I
yes.
changed
Yep.
the whole process, the whole situation. And from that point on, I've been fine. I've been
So
absolutely
proud
fine.
of you. See,
Yes.
high five, sister, through the phone. That is amazing. That's
Yeah.
seriously
It was
amazing.
critical. It really was.
And I noticed that you went to the queen wave, right?
The
So
queen
your
wave.
innate self knows that you're a queen. Your innate self literally knew that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
See how powerful that is? It's a real, true thing. Like literally, our spirits are goddesses, like intense, powerful beings. Because our bodies, that's not who we are, right? We're inside, and we're having this human experience. And like, okay, screwed up there. Oh well, I learned from it, and let's move on. But when you step in that queen power, then you radiate that, and then people, what do? They start respecting you. They start, oh my goodness, Kathy, you look beautiful. Wow, you are so good. You are so amazing. Can't believe you drive that truck. And what happens? All those wonderful things start to manifest in front of you, right, Kathy?
Yeah. And you know what? It was at a split second. I went from being slouched and tears in my eyes and I can't breathe, feeling really crappy, to wait a minute. Wait a minute. And then I went to standing up tall, and wait, I'm the one driving this truck, right? So I rock, right? So
Yeah.
So there you
changed
go.
everything.
Yep.
Perfect example of everything we just spoke about. Literally, your physical change, your mental change, your spiritual came out glowing,
Yep.
your higher self. That is so cool. And what were you?
I think people have to understand that it doesn't come from somebody else. You have to do it. You have to self-talk your way to that moment.
That's
Nobody
exactly
else
right.
can do it for you.
Yep.
And
you know?
how often you hear people say, "Oh, I'll be happy when someone loves me," or "I'll be happy when I make this much money. I'll be happy when I lose 10 pounds. I'll be happy when." Baloney.
No, you won't.
Nope, you will not.
You have to harness it yourself.
Yes. You have to have that self-love and get rid of the crap. Go through your mind and get rid of that in your heart and get rid of that emotional hoarding. That's what I call it. Have you seen hoarders? You can't move. They can't breathe. They're stuck in their homes. They're depressed. They're miserable, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sorry for any hoarders out there who feel that way. I'm so sorry, but that's an expression of the mind that when we harvest and keep and put all like in my book, I say you put all your emotional beguilements and your frustrations and anger under a rug. And pretty soon you keep tripping on the rug. And pretty soon the rug is so filled with crap underneath, you can't even get out of the corner. Right?
Yeah.
And that's what happened. But that's what you did, Kathy. You got rid of all of it. And what do? Your entire world just opened up. And so whatever you let go of, you shift, you forgive yourself, you forgive others, and you come to love yourself. And mirror work, let me give you a little hint how this works. When you do mirror work, it's really empowering, like really empowering. When you look in the mirror, do it morning and night. You can do it like when you're brushing your teeth, like give yourself something as a trigger. It's like, oh, I got to do this. I'm brushing my teeth. I'm doing my hair. I'm doing my makeup. Look yourself in the eye and say, oh my goodness, I love all that I am. Oh my gosh, call yourself by name. Say, I love you with all my heart. I love you, love you, love you, love you. And if it feels weird, pretend like you're your best friend or your spouse or someone at first. And then go into your heart and see that cute little inner child of yours. Is she happy? Is she thriving? Is she bouncing around? Does she have lots of friends? Or is she in the corner sad, miserable, and alone? If whatever image comes to your mind about your inner child, that's how you feel about your adult self. That can give you a little trick. Some people don't like you were saying, and some people don't even really know how they feel or who they are because they've never really connected with their higher self, their inner child. But we all have one. It's just our subconscious mind that just gives us a visual if we go to our little inner child. And if you love her and say, oh my goodness, you're amazing. Oh, you can achieve anything. And rewrite your story internally, your life will change accordingly as an adult.
So if you find your inner child is sitting in the corner and crying, what do?
You love her and your adult self, ask her to come to you. Go into your heart, give her a safe space, whatever your safe space is in your world, your happy place you go to, that's where I want you to take her to. And take your adult child there, your adult self there, Give her a massive hug. Ask her to call her angels around her, her loved ones, anyone who in her life she feels that didn't like her, have them come and rejoice over her and let her know she's safe and how proud you are of her and how amazing you are. You're taking care of her and the future is bright and you're happy and full of abundance in all aspects. And then look at her countenance change in your mind's eye. She will literally stand taller. She'll be happier. She'll start to be in a different outfit. She'll have a smile on her face. Her hair will be done nicely. And then ask her to call all of her little friends to her and then see her run off and play. And what happens? All aspects of your adult self will rise to that frequency of, oh, I've always been loved. I am valued. I am validated. This is amazing. And then it'll start to become, it has to be habitual though. You have to have this positive self-talk. Repetition. In my book, I repeat things throughout the book constantly because in different little mannerisms of teaching, because it's so critical to the subconscious mind. That's how we learn. Paradigms become paradigms because it's repetition. Right?
Mm-hmm.
We get up and we do the same thing every single day. And we might change some things, but for the most part, it's pretty solid in our habitual actions, right? So they couldn't have had those habitual actions had you not done the same things every single day. It's impossible.
So it has to be, eventually it becomes automatic.
Correct. That's exactly right. You want that to be your natural go-to. So you say to yourself, I am fill in the blank. What first comes to your mind? Do you say, I'm beautiful, I'm vivacious, I'm loving, I'm happy, I'm worthy, I'm deserving? Or do you say, I'm worth this, nobody likes to be around me, I'm always, everything bad happens to me. I just expect things to go wrong because they always do, right? So ask yourself those questions. I am ... And then if you need to, write it out on a piece of paper. And so there's another exercise you can do to help shift and clear the limiting beliefs you have about yourself is write down your life as it is now. Write down the things that you dislike, things from your childhood, things from your adult, whatever it might be in your life that causes you discomfort when you think about it or have low self-worth. Write it all out and then say, I'm grateful I was able to learn the life lessons through all these experiences, and then rip it up and throw it away. Then on a new sheet of paper, write down your future self starting today. Write down all the wonderful things, all the wonderful attributes, all the things you want to accomplish this year, and write it in the present tense as though you have already achieved it. It will feel weird at first. You'll think I'm lying to myself, but it's not. What it's doing is giving you a GPS system in your subconscious mind to say, this is my end result. And when I get to my end result, oh my goodness, it's going to be so awesome. But you want to close the gap from where I want to be to where I am. So you speak of it in the present tense. And the words I am connects into your divinity within. I am that I am is God, right? So when you say, and we're spiritual beings. So when you say I am, you're literally tapping into that higher self frequency of yourself. Like, this is amazing. And then what happens? You start to have a visualization of your end result. Your mind works with images. So you always want to see yourself happy. You want to see yourself with whatever aspects of your life you want to improve. You want to see the end result as it's already happened. Then what happens is our reticular activating system in our brains, literally, now this is a scientifically proven, anything you focus upon, your brain searches for, right? So if you're focusing on this end result as I'm so prosperous, I have the most amazing relationship with my spouse, I have the most amazing relationship with my children and my coworkers and myself, oh my gosh, I love to work out, I love to eat healthy, then your brain's going to start looking for all the things to help you manifest that which you want to create. And then the right people are attracted to you, the right circumstances and events, because you're on this higher frequency of, this is my end result and I'm stinking excited about it. This is awesome. And then lo and behold, when things start showing up for you, like, yeah, I was right. This is awesome. And it connects to your brain and your subconscious. Like, yeah, this is amazing. We rock. Look at us go.
Your mind will always believe everything you tell it. You got to
always. Yes.
Feed it truth.
Yes.
Feed it love.
You have to feed it love and self-belief. Yes, because your subconscious mind can't differentiate from the poisonous seeds and the positive seeds. It can't.
So, very true.
Yeah, so get rid of those poisonous.
We only have a couple minutes here. This is so powerful.
Already?
So much.
My gosh, that went fast.
How do
much fun.
How do people reach you, Carol? This is we can't unpack all of this in 1 hour, darn it, but your message is just powerful.
Thank you. Thank you so much, you guys. You can reach me at carol@carolwhitaker.com, and that's CarolWhitaker. And I'm on Facebook and Instagram as well. So And I have a little YouTube, but it's not so much. I have horses too. I'm also equestrian, so I have a little mix on that one. But
neat.
You're welcome to reach out to me, and I'm here for everyone globally. I don't care where you live. I'm here for you, or what age you are, because every one of us, every single woman on this earth, I don't care if you're young or old, you deserve to live the life of your dreams. You deserve to be happy, and you deserve to love yourself unconditionally.
Absolutely.
So now's the time, right? Step into it.
Dispel the negativity and what people have programmed us to think.
Yes, shift that paradigm. Yes.
And it's okay to feel good about ourselves and not say, oh gosh, that's braggadocio.
Yes. In fact, it's essential, because you can't be the best wife. You can't be the best coworker. You can't be the best boss. You can't be the best at your company if you're not your best self. It's not ego. It's called self-respect.
I love it. Thank you so much, Carol.
You're welcome.
This has been not only fun, but super informative.
Thank you. It's my honor to be on your show. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Yeah, it was absolutely wonderful. Oh my God, I'm so glad.
Thank you. You guys were wonderful as well. Oh my goodness. Glad we connected.
Thank you.
You've been listening to Women Road Warriors with Shelley Johnson and Kathy Tuccaro. If you want to be a guest on the show or have a topic or feedback, email us at info@tncradio.live.
Thank you for listening to another great interview on tncradio.live. All of the material you hear on tncradio.live on our website, our broadcasts, or our podcasts are copyrighted. There can be no distribution without the express consent of tncradio.live and its partners. For inquiries, write us at info@tncradio.live.